I, 23F, deleted my boyfriend's, 23M, comment. What do I do?
Hi. Long story short, I, 23F, posted some pictures on my Instagram account. One of the photo was edited in a way that I had taken my face from another picture, and put it on this one. Because while my pose looked good here, but my face did not. Anyway, so as I am posting, I told my boyfriend, 23M, how I edited the picture, and he was like, "Ooh, that's smart. This looked nice, not really noticeable," and so on. I post the picture. A while later, he comments something along the lines of, "This one picture looks kinda out of place, almost like you edited it." I deleted his comment, because I didn't like it. He says I shouldn't have deleted it because it was kind of like an inside joke for us two, and that it was just overall rude to have deleted it without asking him. Now he's sort of mad at me. We've been together for more than 3 years. What do I do? He forgot the XOXO Gossip Girl. Not the asshole. Publicly broadcasting an inside joke kind of undermines the whole concept. I don't see his comment being nice or funny. You yourself showed him what you did and he turned it against you. If you had a problem with the photo, he should have said something when you showed it to him. Commenting like that is just not nice. He didn't leave that comment as an inside joke. Had an ex that would comment on every single post. Weird things that made no sense, but it was sort of him showing ownership. Like, look, strangers on the internet. I know her better than others. You don't need his permission to delete his comment either. Weird, he thinks you should ask him before doing it. It wasn't nearly subtle enough to be an inside joke, it was a breach of trust. It almost feels passive-aggressive. I think if your boyfriend has a problem with you editing your photos, he should talk to you about it. You're allowed to edit photos and put it online. Most things are edited, and if it upset you and you told him it did, it seems like he's trying to make it about himself. If he just wants an inside joke with you, then keep it inside. This seems like negging. He's trying to put you down to control you or make you feel small. His behavior is honestly gross. My 42F husband, 47M, keeps threatening divorce. Is it time to give up? We've been married about 7 years. About every 6 months my husband goes from being a pretty average good partner to being a complete Jekyll, Hyde. He does not do well expressing small resentments before they become big, and will go from exclaiming how much he loves our life and me, to the very next day blowing up over something seemingly small and saying how much he hates it here and needs a divorce. Once we dig into what the cause of the explosion was, it typically turns out to be about 25% true. He tends to inflate issues in his mind and is not the best at being objective. An example would be, he gets sick and lays in bed for 3-4 days straight. I get sick, and after doing some critical things around the house, will ask if he minds me tapping out and taking a nap. He will say, "Yes, please do. You should rest for the remainder of the day, I've got this." Then about 2 hours later will barge in the room either panicked or mad, but say to keep resting, he just needed to vent. Then I'll hear him being short with the kids and the kids escalating and whining, yelling. Then, either later that night, or early the next day, he will finally lose his temper, exclaiming he can't do everything, and will lay in bed refusing to care for anything, or will just grab his keys and leave. We've repeatedly talked about him asking for help when he is at a 3 instead of a 10, or just not overextending himself at all. The cycle still happens. So yesterday I absolutely went to the nines cleaning up the yard for a playdate we were hosting. A lot of what I cleaned up was his mess. And even though his trainer called out, he still took 1.5 hours to go to the gym and barely helped me set up before and clean up after. I pulled my back carrying bags of cement he had left out, and at 5:30 I took some ibuprofen and he said, "You rest, I've got this." I had really hurt my back, so despite knowing that this will come back to bite me, I needed the rest. Today, without asking to planning with me, he just tells me he has too much to prep for the 2 days I'm traveling for work and that I'm on kid duty solo all day. He then proceeds to make it known that he doesn't like whatever I'm doing with my time. I told him the kids are happy and fed and to politely mind his own business. Nap time rolls around and I'm reading books to our youngest, and our oldest takes a couple book to our bed where he is laying down. I spend about 25 minutes reading to her and then go lay on the couch outside her bedroom to rest my back while I buy some essentials for the kids on Amazon and make sure she stays in bed.
After maybe 7 minutes I hear my eldest outside when she is supposed to be laying down just as my husband stomps down the stairs.
I guess she knocked his coffee over onto something important of his and he is yelling it all at me. I just say I know you're upset, but it's not cool to unload your shit onto people. 10 minutes later I go up to the room to get something from the bathroom and he asks me to grab a fan to help dry things out. I say sure and ask if he wants the rug cleaner while I'm down there. He just starts screaming at me, calling me controlling and just saying again how much he hates it here. I told him he needs to take a breather and go for a walk or drive. He keeps yelling, so I told him he can calm down or I'm kicking him out of the house. I meant for a walk drive, but he took it as more and further threatened divorce. I cancelled my work trip as this is the second outburst this week and I'm not okay with him being solo with our kids in this state. I do much more around the house and make about 40% of our overall income. I do love him and I want our kids to not have their lives disrupted, but I feel like he is a ticking time bomb and it's only a matter of time before he nukes our marriage. Edit. There are some commenters that are jumping to conclusions and accusations without asking sincere questions. I understand a lot of people's fears, but this won't yield a productive dialogue. I have gone to extensive measures to protect my children, and that includes attempting various types of therapy before disrupting their world with a divorce and allowing them to succumb to unsupervised 50-50 custody. Even if that ends up happening, there's at least now a marked improvement in his overall behavior due to the foundation laid by therapy, which I hope will benefit my children if he is granted shared custody. Why are you allowing this? Hand him divorce papers and get your kids out of an unhealthy environment. This post is exhausting. I'd rather be single, living a stress-free life, having well-adjusted kids with little to no emotional damage from a dysfunctional marriage, than living with a man-child. Fuck that shit, fuck all that shit and then some. Read, why does he do that? Inside the Minds of Angry and Controlling Men, archive.org. You need to protect yourself and the kids. You have a third child, a 47-year-old child. At 47 he won't change. Edit, grammar. Your husband is an emotional terrorist. Someone who is abusive 10% of the time is still an abuser. My wife 27F cheated on me 30M and I am wondering how it can be repaired. I am a 30-year-old male and my wife in 27-year-old female. We have been together for 7.5 years and married for 1.5. We have a 2-year-old together. Yesterday we went for drive where she wanted to talk to me and just said that she cheated on me. She said it happened 2 weeks ago when she was in another state celebrating a mutual friend's 30th. I didn't go so that I could stay home with our 2-year-old, so he had one of his parents and also would save costs on the flights. Now a little more background is that we have had a few little issues to do with our sexual relationship over the last 6 months. This is mainly due to my low sex drive, but also I have some bad asthma, and so some nights when I would want to have sex it is actually hard to do it that night because it is hard to breathe even lying down in bed. We did not get married for the sake of having our child, but instead she ended up getting pregnant shortly after I proposed to her, and we decided to have a slightly longer date for the wedding due to COVID still being present and didn't want it to affect the process or make cancellations. We have now since sold our house and staying with my parents as we are building our dream home in a few months' time. Since we had a more in-depth discussion about this 2 months ago, we have started to get more intimate and spend more time together more often. It seemed that our relationship had been strengthening more. Then this had to go and happen. She was very drunk at the time and sexy drunk, texting me, and maybe some of these emotions and also missing me came up and she just didn't think. She knows what she did was wrong, regrets it and wants to try to work it out as well for the sake of all we have worked for and also so we can not make it harder for our son's life. What are some things that could be suggested on how to go forward with this? I do still love her and don't want it to end, but it does seem like it's going to be incredibly hard and a never-ending process. What should I do? Statistically, 70% of couples that experienced infidelity try to make it work. 53% marriages that experienced cheating in their relationship fall apart within 5 years after the discovery, even with therapy. You're 30. Chances are you will find another partner within 2-3 years after the divorce. Sit down and think if you truly believe you can live through this. Start by asking yourself if you want to move forward with this relationship. It seems like you're in a good position for divorce since you already sold your house. Do you really want to build your dream home on this rocky foundation? She's not trustworthy. She was willing to throw away your marriage and stability for a quick fuck.
If you do want to go forward, then I would suggest you pump the brakes on the new house.
Make her do the work before you invest any more into this relationship. She's the one that detonated your marriage.
What is she doing to show you that she is working to fix it?
I'd leave, no repairing that. She's also lying. I hate when people blame it on being drunk.
You still know what you're doing. Total deal breaker for me.
You'll never trust her again.
You'll likely be a mess if she ever goes out of town again.
I wouldn't put myself through the pain. I am sorry, but I do not buy her story.
She was sexy drunk texting you, missing you, and ended up in bed with someone else? That is crazy person behavior. Alcohol is inspect but not a valid excuse.
It's up there with some of the worst versions of cheating emo.
It's good that she mustered up and told you, rather than you finding out elsewhere, but the 2 weeks later aspect is not great. Try a sub like RAS1 after infidelity or R support for betrayed to get an idea of what reconciliation actually looks like and maybe get ideas on what you personally need from her in order to attempt to move past this.
She most likely got busted by someone, that's why she came clean. Time to investigate. Will you ever be able to view her like before? Will you ever be able to trust her again? Will you have to police her?
Did she use protection?
Will she stop hanging with friends if you aren't there? What steps is she willing to take to prevent this from ever happening again?
Do you get a hall pass?
Not really, but she needs to think about how it feels for her husband to be intimate with another woman. Will you resent her forever? I wouldn't stay if it were me, but you gotta do you, man. Good luck. I, 22M. Got cheated on by my girlfriend, 21F. What do I do?
Okay, so 2 days ago I finally got, after asking for months, to know that my girlfriend cheated on me.
She cheated with 3 men where she only slept with 2 of them. She says it's no romantic feelings there, but she slept with R 4 times over the span of 5 months and C 3 times over the span of a week.
She had unprotected sex with both, and I will get STD tested ASAP. The third guy, G, nothing happened, but she made out with him and they almost slept together.
She has been lying in my face every day about where she is and what she has been doing. R had to buy her an abortion pill where I found the instruction thingy that comes in the package. He also lives in my hometown where I see him every so often. G also lives there. C on the other hand lives in another country.
She formed a friendship with him while she was there that has continued after she came home. Worth to add that all these people knew that we were in a relationship.
Here comes the issue. I love her. I do not want to be without her. She is my everything and I would give the world to her. I am just unsure if she wants me.
I don't know where I went wrong. I provided for her, gave her unconditional love, basically everything I had. This post might not make a lot of sense, but I am hoping for some advice on how to get her to love me again. This is completely out of character of her, and she has always been so against cheating and lying.
I still believe the girl I fell in love with is there.
What do I do?
She is your everything.
But are you her everything?
If you were, she wouldn't cheat on you.
Just break up with her.
She has already cheated multiple times and will do it again in the future. Move on, you will definitely find someone who loves you as much as you do. Time to hit the gym.
She doesn't respect you. What makes you think you can make her love you again?
Love yourself first, someone else comes post that.
Is breaking your trust and hurting you 8 different times loving you?
Do you deserve to be with someone who treats you like that?